Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here from the First Alert News Digital Desk. Lots to get to with regards to the First Alert Safety Desk. We always catch up with you on Fridays after a full week of talking about these safety stories. So we like to recap the bigger ones, or at least the ones that I thought were most impactful, at least for us here locally and beyond, especially this one that you're seeing at the very top there, Listeria outbreak linked to those deli meats. More about that. We'll delve into that. And then the White House task force offering a guide for parents on kids and social media, which I thought was really important. And this study about 8 in 10 adults reporting ringing in their ears, and that is talking about technology, our AirPods, our headphones, things that we use all of the time. So we'll delve into some of these bigger stories again that we touched on during Action 2 News this morning on the First Alert Safety Desk. And here, now that we're at the digital news desk, we'll start off by talking about that Listeria outbreak impacting Wisconsin too. So what you're seeing here is the map from the CDC showing the different states where we've seen some of the cases, the number of people that have been sick. And I should mention the fact that 2 people actually died, not in Wisconsin, outside of Wisconsin. They didn't specify where, but the fact that it reached our state is really important. And we do have the full story at WBAY.com, and I'll probably be able to show you that eventually. But honestly, this is pretty impactful because we don't yet know the true source of where this meat came from. And so what you're seeing again is a couple of those states, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, you're seeing that we do have a couple of cases. And I do want to log into another computer of mine, so I'm going to ask for just a moment here while you take a look at that. Meanwhile, if you're watching and you're tuning in, make sure you say hello and let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what your weekend plans are too. Because what I want to do is log into our website and show you, because we often mention, make sure you head to our website, WBAY.com, and go to the Safety Desk tab. So I'll be able to show you that and how to do that. It's actually really easy. Lots of great information on there. So I'll come back here, take that out, and then we'll head over to the website right here. Safety Desk tab right there, really easy to find. So once you head down into those stories, you will be able to see, done quite a few this week. That's the story, but more importantly, I want to show you the link and where to find all of the information right there from the CDC if you want to follow along with this and you're concerned, because again, we just don't know the source. They're trying to figure that out, but for right now, Listeria, obviously very harmful for people who are pregnant, if you're over 65, or maybe you have a weakened immune system. CDC always talking about how people that are at higher risk should avoid eating these meats that are sliced at the deli, but you can heat them up to an internal temperature of about 165 degrees or until they're steaming hot to hopefully prevent that from getting sick. But you see the number of illnesses there, 12 states, 2 deaths. Doesn't look like it's gone up since that day, but you can read up on all of this. And then the map that I just showed you is right on the website. Really helpful if you want to follow along. So you could see right here, number of people sick in Wisconsin, 1. So even though it's just 1 person, we're still following it just to make sure that it doesn't get any worse. Really important to follow along with stories like that impact you and your family. Another story that I wanted to talk about, which I thought was pretty important from the Safety Desk this week, is this guideline on social media. It's for parents that are navigating the world of social media, and maybe your kids are on social media too. This report released by the White House task force was really interesting, and we're trying to obviously stay with the times, seeing what the trends are, following along with what the kids are doing too. And this is for parents. Again, a resource for you with information on how to keep your child safe online. So in the U.S., an estimated 95% of teens and 40% of kids ages 8 to 12, as you're seeing right there, use some form of social media. That's a lot. Parents, you're encouraged to set up a family media plan that maybe sets up expectations with your kids, but also you've got to make sure you're also doing the same thing so that they see that you're also doing it. It's just a good idea. Some recommendations for you this morning, but you could see what they're watching, how long they are on their devices, and have that expectation set. that's the guideline anyway, if any parents are just trying to figure out how to deal with that. The wider focus, though, is on mental health among kids and teens and that online usage. We've talked a lot about mental health with kids and how social media can really impact what they're dealing with already at school and at home, all of that. So make sure you check out that story. It's also on WBAY.com. Another one I wanted to talk about this morning, I'm going to go back to the main page in case you missed it, that study about the ringing in your ears. Really interesting. You might have had that before, tinnitus. The story that I did this week was pretty interesting. It talked about how 8 in 10 adults report that ringing in their ears. People over 55 were 3 times more likely than people ages 18 to 34. I think a lot of this is kind of common sense, but what they were looking at, and by the way, this is done by Apple and the University of Michigan. It involved 160,000 people. So you may hear that phantom ringing or that tone in your ears. I'm going to pull up some of the information here so you could see and read along if you want to. And that is the wrong photo, so we're just going to go back. But it's also on the website. So with that ringing in your ears, in the study by Apple and the University of Michigan, it found 8 in 10 adults have experienced tinnitus. Not sure if you guys have ever had that. I sure have. So the majority of adults described the sound as faint, with 79% hearing it as a pure tone. Then there was 17% who heard it as a white noise. 1 in 5 adults said the loud noises were most likely the cause of their tinnitus, but also stress could be a factor, which is pretty interesting. So experts say you can't necessarily prevent it, obviously, but you can reduce it by trying to minimize those really loud sounds or using hearing protection in loud environments and then managing your stress. Again, I thought that was really interesting. If we go back to our website, I want to show you a couple things here. So first and foremost, if you go to our main website, you go to WBAY.com, you go to the Safety Desk tab right here, and you've got all the different stories that we've covered on Action 2 News. We were talking about heat safety, and I just want to mention the fact that weather this weekend is heating up, very hot and humid. If you go to the Grand Chute Fire Department Facebook page, they've got a really great video showing the difference between heat stroke and heat exhaustion. Really important. If somebody passes out, you've got to call 911. Stay hydrated, all of those things, and sort of the common sense things that we talk about. But because it's still happening, fire officials, public safety officials, they just want you to keep that in mind, keep it in the back of your head. Maybe you're out on the water practicing boat safety, water safety, ATV trail safety, and then also if you're at an event, making sure that you're staying hydrated, taking breaks from the heat and the sun when you can, because it is going to get pretty warm. So make sure you check Steve Balon's forecast for the weekend, because it sounds like it's going to be pretty impactful with regards to the heat. So I want to take a look to see here. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to you, Jody. Good morning to you, Beth. Angelica, very nice. Thanks for chiming in there. I appreciate you saying hi. So all of these stories, once again, will be at WBAY.com, waiting on the heat story that should be posted here pretty soon, but you could read up on the other ones. The other story that I did this morning, I'm going to show you. And go right to the website. Go back to Safety Desk, and then click on this. If you've bought baby products on Amazon, just be careful and make sure you always check with the Consumer Product Safety Commission. The Zonely baby lounger is on recall because it could trap and suffocate a baby. So that was another, we often do these recall stories as well, especially if it's for a lot of people, maybe on Amazon, or maybe it's at a popular store. So we'd like to incorporate those into the First Alert Safety Desk. But if there's any story or any concern that you may have, make sure that you let us know about it. If you have a concern in the community with regards to safety, keep me posted. You can message me on social media, send me an email, all of that. Very helpful so that we know what's going on in the community and we can help out, because there's lots going on and there's potential safety stories that you might want to spread or you're curious about. I can always look into those. So thank you very much for being here. We just wanted to keep this short and sweet. And I will be back on Action 2 News mid-morning come 9 a.m. We'll talk about heat safety once again and that important forecast with meteorologist Steve Balon. Have a great Friday.